Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Hope we are doing okay. Hope we're doing all right on this Thursday, which has actually been quite a fine Thursday. But it's a fine Thursday evening, most definitely. Got Friday, and then bring on the weekend. Bring on the weekend, and I'm feeling like it's a fine Thursday because just taking a quick glimpse at my subscriber count this morning, and see we're now on to 99 subs. So we have crept too closer to the big 100. Oof, we're getting so close, people. We're getting so close. Really appreciate the love and support that you all are showing me on this channel. It's amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everybody that has subscribed and who watches the content, shares it, likes it, all of that good stuff, pushes it up the algorithm to infinity and beyond, onto every single person's recommended playlists or whatever it is that the videos you see down the side of your YouTube screen when you're browsing on YouTube, whatever it may be. But yeah, someone who's perhaps not feeling like it's such a fine Thursday is, by the looks of it, the whole Maguire family. You might as well just say the whole Maguire family's upset. Upset for a while, by the looks of it. But the latest person to speak out from the Maguire family is Harry's mother. Harry's mother has decided to start talking about what Harry is experiencing and online interaction. Now, don't get me wrong. Most players, if not all players, will get some level of abuse. It's just one of those things. I mean, even I've had abuse. Barely any, but still abuse. Still abuse. It's one of those things that when you put yourself on show to the world, to millions and millions of different pairs of eyes and different pairs of minds, different millions and millions of different minds, you're bound to get people who think positively about you. You're going to get people who think negatively about you. You're going to be people that will follow you to the end of the universe and will say, I love you. And then the others that will want to see you burn, crash, just spontaneously combust into a raging inferno. Just fire everywhere. You're going to get this, right? Because there's loads and loads of different people, loads of different minds, loads of different ways of thinking, all these different things. If you put yourself into a mainstream interaction point, you're going to get all sorts of different conversations going through you. You're going to get all sorts. So the fact that Harry Maguire is having a real rough time of things, I'm sort of like, from a sporting perspective, absolutely, you deserve every ounce of criticism you get. You deserve absolutely everything. This is from sporting aspect. I believe Harry Maguire needs to look at what the people are genuinely criticizing him for and realize this isn't one or two people doing this. This is most people. Most people have a viewpoint on me, which must mean that if you're basing this off of mass majority, surely that's more to them knowing what you should be doing better than you do. And it's kind of, it sounds a bit, it sounds pretty damning to think about it like that. Oh, there's a lot of people who will say, doesn't matter what people think about you or say about you. Now, from an individual's perspective, absolutely not. Take me, for example. If I'm on the internet if I exist on the internet, I mean, even without needing to do YouTube, before I was doing YouTube, I was getting hate from individuals on the internet. And to be honest, back then, it probably bothered me a whole heck of a lot more than it does now. It's just how I was, obviously a bit more of a raw, less disciplined mind back then. I respond to things a lot more. It was going to weigh down on me a lot more. But you grow your character. Uh, you smooth out the edges a little bit, um, and you just take a lot more individualized comments on the chin. Now, as far as abuse goes, I think if there's a mass majority of people that, well, I say mass majority, but a mass of people, right? I'm not talking about one or two, we're talking about hundreds, thousands of people doing the same thing. And I guess making it personal is not really a line that I would want to cross. I wouldn't want to cross into a line where it's like, I'm going to hate you on a personal level. I'm going to make this personal with you. I wouldn't want to cross that line. And I advise very much so to as many people as I possibly can. Everything you see on the internet is never personal to you, unless it's someone who's decided to invoke it being personal, but keep personal things to personal matters. This is a sport. We support a club. We follow a team. We will support people who play for this club. But when we want what's best for it, we will criticize the elements that hold the club back, or keep the club from progressing, or slow the club's progression down. We will always do that. That's because we want what's best for it. If we didn't want what was best, absolutely best for our clubs, which at the end of the day, you measure best by level of success. That's just the way that football, that's just the way the pyramid is constructed in football, in competition. When you want what's best, you demand success with it. You say, well, if you are the best, you're the most successful. That's what you associate it with. If we didn't want what's best for our clubs, we wouldn't care about whether a player does good or bad. We wouldn't care. We would say, but he's still our player. And that's the bit where I want to say this is probably where standard-wise, fan standards, when it comes to whether you support players or you don't support players, whichever road or avenue you want to walk down. Do you want to support all the players, or do you want to say, well, I'll support the ones that do well for my club and want to do well, or if you don't do well, I will criticize you and I will call you out. And I think it's fair to say I have very, very strongly called out Harry Maguire from a sporting perspective. I've said numerous times that maybe in person, if you were to meet him, he'd be a genuinely nice bloke. And I don't doubt that for a second. I don't doubt that for a second, that he might be. Now, the key word there is might. I don't doubt that he might be. So maybe you have a bad run-in with him. Maybe you have a bad experience with him. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally. Henceforth, I don't want to speak about things like this personally, because it doesn't matter to me personally that much. So, Harry Maguire's mother. I echo the sentiment that perhaps she's concerned with what abuse her son's getting, right? There's several things that I will pull this up on. You are speaking about a personality that is known, like a sports personality that's known to millions of people. You're speaking on behalf of someone who sits with that exposure. So the second you release something about that, all of that interaction is going to start looking towards you. So if you tell people who are abusing someone else, "Oh, stop being abusive to that person, guys. Stop being abusive." You'll get people who say, "Yeah, no, I agree with you." They'll get other people who then say, "Oh, okay." So I'll say, "I'll take my abuse away from him and I'll stick my abuse on you instead." So for me, even though if I'm family to somebody famous or someone that's out there on the internet who who's getting all sorts of abuse, I'm not going to sit there and start putting out statements saying, "Oh, the abuse that this family member of mine's getting is absolutely disgusting. How dare everybody? Oh, yeah, screwed a lot of them," or something like that. That would be suicide for me, literal suicide. Um, it's a bit different if, say, it's just solely on a YouTube or social media basis, because at the end of the day, it is slightly in a different light. But on top of that, the second thing I want to pull it up on, this, relating to what I was literally just talking about, um, and leading into this point, Harry Maguire, I'm pretty sure, should and probably does have a massive, massive media team for PR reasons, social interaction, or to avoid direct social interactions. You should have big PR teams that keep 99.999% of all of this abuse away from you. So if you have someone or a team of people who basically just blanket everything and say, "Yeah, there's lots of abuse in there, don't read into it. It's all just people trying to make stuff personal. It's not like your situation is not personal to them. You just keep focusing and doing your thing. We'll deal with it." Perhaps Maguire should be looking at things from that perspective. But I suppose this, it, and looking at the statement, just reading up on the statement, that she's criticizing the abusive comments, or the level of the abusive comments that comes from some fans, pundits, and the media. For me, what we need to get to understand is separating criticism from abuse. Because criticism, usually we're talking about an element that doesn't really stand personally, right? We don't talk about someone's personal life when we criticize them if we are talking about a football player. It's like if there's a basketball player and I have criticisms of the basketball player, I don't talk about someone on a personal basis. I talk about them from a sporting perspective, but I don't watch basketball, so I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. For football, I watch football. I've watched plenty of football, so I would have the slightest Scooby as to what I'm on about. Which, funny thing is that most other people who watch football also share the same viewpoints on Harry Maguire that I do, and other players. I mean, Jadon Sancho. There's a lot of people who take Sancho's side, a lot of people who take the manager's side, and you know, based off of what's happening with that situation, Sancho's practically been banned from the squad as well. So, I mean, obviously that's a situation that I was hoping would be turning to get towards a resolution, but by the looks of it, it seems to be a slow burner, bit of a slow burner, which is an absolute bummer. If you would like for me to create a video of sorts, or perhaps address it in a stream, um, drop it in the comment section below. But as far as this, abuse thing goes, for me, it's like it shouldn't, because most of it comes from a place where it's like you're talking about someone who is in the limelight. from a sporting personality, from a famous person. Fame already is a dangerous thing. You don't need to go out of your way to tell everybody that the dangerous aspect about a famous person, or the life of a famous person. You don't need to sit there and start calling it out. You don't really need to do that. It's never nice, but that's why players have PR teams. That's why they have social media teams. They filter out the bad stuff. So something really feels like that there's a lot of maybe it's just about fans booing Maguire. I mean, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, don't boo Maguire." I'm like, but why not? Because you vocalize a decision, you vocalize, a player's presence on a pitch, or player's presence at a club, or for his country, whatever it is. You vocalize it. You say, "Well, I really, really don't want to see Harry Maguire here. I don't want to see this player here. But what I would do is cheer I'll cheer their name. I'll chant their name. I'll say, yeah, let's go, Harry, let's go, Harry. I'll do that for 90 minutes. But the second I step out of that stadium, I've got all of this negative stuff to say about him. It doesn't quite weigh up the same, does it? So it's like if you don't want a player there, you just say boo, but you don't need to go effing and blinding. You don't need to, right? But when you boo something like it, I don't understand it. People say, oh, we should have the rights to criticize a player. Okay, my criticism in a stadium comes in the form of a boo. It's literally just vocalizing what you think and how you feel. Obviously, it's not in form of words. You're not stringing sentences together in a stadium, because otherwise it would just sound like you're not going to be able to distinguish anything from that. So what do people do? They cheer or they boo. So if you boo, you say that's that's an element of criticism here. If you cheer, you say that's an element of support, right? That's an element of positivity, because they are supporting that player and saying, let's go, let's do well. If you are criticizing and you're booing a player, you don't sit there because you say, well, I hate this player, I hate him. It doesn't really coincide to that. It's to say, I disagree with the player being there, and I don't like the idea that he's playing on a football pitch. I don't want him there. So let me vocalize to everybody that that's how I feel. And people say, don't boo Harry Maguire, you should be booing Southgate. And I'm like, but it's like, well, if we boo Southgate, then cool, we're booing every game then. Every game for England. Every game. It's like if Harry Maguire plays for Man United, are we going to sit there and boo every single game because Eric Ten Hag's there? Not really, no. And the thing is that people love it when they see Harry Maguire play for England or Manchester United and they support the other team. They love it. So that right there. So people saying, oh, the abuse Harry gets in a stadium, you don't understand how football works then. You really, really don't understand how football works from a fan's perspective. You don't understand it. Because players jeer, not cheer, jeer, right? They boo you. Rival fans will boo a player. They'll laugh at a player. They'll do everything. Real Madrid fans will boo players when they don't do well enough. And because it plays on their minds, they think, my response to this has to be to play better, to play harder, to run faster, to give more. Harry Maguire's response thus far to boos is put out PR statements, get managers for the England team to back me, and to have my family make statements on my behalf as well. That's not really a model professional, is it? From a football standpoint, it's not a model professional. A model professional takes the criticism, does everything in their power to improve and get better, but knows when this is beyond their ability, beyond their reach, beyond their comfort zone, remove yourself. So the door to West Ham was open and you chose to close the door. You chose to stay in the snake pit. You chose to stay there. So don't criticize the fans for criticizing you. End of story. It's like if this is so bad, I mean this also extends to Harry Maguire's mother. If the abuse your son gets is that bad, wouldn't you personally, privately advise him take yourself out of that limelight, because that's why you get the abuse? You've got more eyes on you and you're not living up to the higher end of expectations. They demand so much from you, but you can't give them that. You can give them plenty of good stuff, but you can't give them that, because the players who give them that are usually the ones that you see featuring for team of the seasons, voted by leagues, associations, player associations, footballing associations, UEFA, FIFA, the FIFA Pro 11s. Usually that's where you get that level of demand, right? That's the level you've got to live up to. If you're not there, don't fill your head with delusions that, well, I belong at this level, but everybody that boos me because I'm not achieving that level, oh, they're not real fans or something like that. Like, you sign up for this. You absolutely sign up for it. So you either take it on the chin, right? If it's that big, if it's that widespread, get people to sort it out for you. Simple as that. You don't need to sit there read hate comments. You need to sit there, have a social media team that filters out the bad stuff, right? Go look at all the positive things that people say about you. That's literally it at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys think about the Harry Maguire situation, with people booing him, or pundits criticizing him, fans criticizing him. I believe that abuse, to make it personal to a player, I don't advise people do that. I really don't. But criticize by every means. Criticize them, right? Say what you do is not good enough. We want more from you, right? That's okay, right? But don't start crying about abuse, right? When someone criticizes you, like, don't just all categorize it into one and, full send it to the media and into the press releases. Don't do that, because it's not going to bode well for you in the long run. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below, guys. To be honest, that video, I thought I probably rambled on a few places, perhaps, but I don't know. I don't know whether half the shit I say makes much sense or is remotely coherent, but let me know in the comment section with the situation with Harry Maguire. Do you agree with some of the things I've said? If you disagree, also pop it in the comment section below as well. Don't abuse me, guys. Don't abuse me. You abuse me, I am writing to YouTube and I'm putting out PR statements. Seriously. Go watch Good Morning Britain or some shit like that, or BBC News. I'll make it trending across the country if you abuse me in the comment section. But aside from that, like the videos, and whoever subscribes, drop it in the comment section. If you are the 100th subscriber, I will pin your comment to the video, and I will stick you on the thumbnail or something of my next release of video or stream, whatever it is. I'll do something like that. But well, I'll see what I can do. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a smashing rest of your Thursdays and a delightful Friday, fantastic Friday. And hope everybody's looking forward to the weekend. It's return of Premier League football, I believe. I do need to quickly check on what days the games are on. What on earth is this? Leicester. So, Man United, we are, of course we are. We're a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday against Brighton. Well, I'm going to be working on that day, so sadly there's no watch long for it. But I'll try and work a preview in tomorrow for that game, but also do a match review as well. In the evening of Saturday, yeah, whether it's going to be singing the praises of Manchester United or screaming bloody murder once more, but we'll have to see how things go. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.